Get started in the second Israel. So lock it. Bear with me. Shalom, Israel. Yahweh Hashem Yahweh Shah Barak Thumb to the brothers. Yahweh Shemal Thumb by Hashem Yahweh Shah to the sisters. I'm Priest Officer Quran Yahweh, the IHBK, and this is the Friday night, Salaki. This is the Monday night history class on the IHBK Sacramento channel. So tonight, as you can tell by the title, we're going to be going over police brutality today, right? And a lot of people might not realize that police brutality is actually found in the Bible. You understand? Get this laptop set up, right? Police brutality is actually found in the Bible. You understand? And we're going to go over the history of it in the scriptures, and we're going to correlate those events to what's going on today. You understand? Because more often than not, Black, Latino, and Native American men, women, and children, we being harassed and gunned down in the streets of the world. You understand? Because of police brutality. But people don't understand, like, where police brutality comes from and what's the spirit behind it. You understand? Black, Latinos, and Native Americans, if you don't know, you still a slave. Like, we ain't got freed out of no damn slavery. You understand? If you work a job, living paycheck to paycheck, all you got enough money for is to feed and clothe yourself and your kids and pay your rent or pay your mortgage to your house, and you can't really save up, or if you can't live without working this job, like if you lose this job, your life will crumble, then you a slave. You understand? And same thing for entertainers, basketball players, all of that. We all are slaves up under this oppressive system in order to maintain ourselves. But in actuality, we still are building up their country and their economy. You understand? Their empire, right? A lot of people don't know that uh, a lot of people don't know that the history of policing in this country it dates back to slavery, right? Now, I found this article on the NAACP website. Let me get this article so I can read it for y'all, right? The origins of modern day policing. Tough on crime. Laws have been put, Salakia. Laws have been passed, Salakia. Laws have put an unprecedented number of nonviolent offenders behind bars, and our neighborhoods feels no more secure. This system has deep roots in slavery. You understand? And let's get into it. Slave patrols. The origins of modern day policing can be traced back to the slave patrol. The earliest form of slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the early 1700s with one mission: establish a system of terror and squash slave uprisings with the capacity to pursue apprehend, and return runaway slaves to their owners. Tactics including use of excessive force to control and produce desired slave behavior. You understand? Like the slave patrols were to keep slaves in line. And this is exactly what the police do in the Black, Latino, and Native American community today. They ride down our neighborhoods, jump out on us, and see what we doing, what you got on you, what's in your pocket. You on probation or parole. Anybody that grew up in the ghetto, especially Black, Latino, and Native American men, you understand that, like, man, these police be harassing us a whole lot. That's because the police still sees you as their slave. You understand? The police officer still is getting paid for keeping blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in line, just like they did during the slavery times, right? I, the patroller name, do swear that I will search that I will, as searcher for guns, swords, and other weapons among the slaves in my district, faithfully and privately as I can, discharge the trust reposed in me as the law directs to be of to the best of my power. So help me God. North Carolina Slave Patrol. Oh, you understand? Like they used to sit in front of the people that's patrolling them to be slaves and put their right hand and swear a oath to harass you, to make sure you don't got no weapons on you. You understand? To make sure that you upholding the law and you in line. This is exactly what goes on in America today. It's deeply rooted in slavery and it's deeply rooted in this Bible. You understand? Like I said, like I'm reading to y'all right now. Policing comes from basically keeping slaves in line. I'm gonna show you the origins of slave patrols and policing slaves in this Bible, right? Lock in. Slave patrols continue until the end of the Civil War and the passage of the 13th Amendment. Follow the Civil War during Reconstruction. Follow the Civil War during Reconstruction. Slovakia. Following the Civil War during Reconstruction, slave patrols were replaced by militia style groups who were empowered to control and deny access to equal rights to free slaves. Man, would you imagine that? Militia, it said militia style groups. After the slave patrols ended, it gave birth to militia style groups like the KKK and things like that. Like this is literally what's going on in America in 2022. The police force are militia style groups. You understand? To make sure that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans don't get no equal rights. You understand? Uh, they relentlessly and systematically enforce black codes, strict local and state laws that regulate and restrict access to labor, wages, voting rights, and general freedoms for formerly enslaved people. You understand? Like these people, these militia groups that came on the scene after the slave patrols, they were literally employed to oppress and keep blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans in poverty. You understand? Get some more. In 1868, ratification of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution technically granted equal protections to African Americans, essentially abolishing black codes, Jim Crow laws, and state and local statutes that legalized racial segregation swiftly took their place. So now they let me read that one more time. In 1868, ratification of the 14th Amendment of the United States Constitution technically granted equal protections to African Americans, essentially abolishing the black codes. So these black codes was abolished. You understand? And then what happened was the Jim Crow laws took place. You understand? White only signs and black people can't be in this part of town And you understand, like all type of evil and nonsense that these damn devils was oppressing us with to keep our to keep them having a sense of you niggas are still slaves. Y'all still one fifth of a human being. Of course, slavery has been abolished, but we still gonna treat you like cats, rats, and dogs. We gonna treat y'all like our little pets. You understand? If you ain't doing what we want you to do, we're going to abuse you. And this is what policing and the slave patrol. This is the spirit of that to keep blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans at a low state and to keep you from having a sense of man, I'm a human being, I deserve rights, or to keep you from having pride in you being uh from you being a great nation of people. You understand? This is terrible, right? By the 1900s, local municipalities began to establish police departments to enforce local laws in the East and Midwest, and including Jim Crow laws. These police in the East and in the Midwest used to enforce Jim Crow laws, right? Local municipalities learned leaned on police to enforce and exert excessive brutality on African Americans who violated any Jim Crow law. Jim Crow laws continued through the end of the 1960s. Man, these people was beating the hell out of a black man for drinking out of a water fountain that said white only, or for going on the wrong side of town. They will essentially beat the hell out of you, sick a dog on you, spray you with fire hoses, and in a lot of cases kill you, just like they do today. The crisis in policing is the culmination of a thousand other failures. Failures of education, social services, public health, gun relations, criminal justice, and economic development. The New Yorker, July 13th, 2020. A continuing bias. A criminal justice system is heavily impacted by the bias of police mentality and outdated judicial precedents. Precedents. So like it. The system is largely driven by racial disparities, and the black community continues to be a target. The results are brutal and long lasting. All cruelty begins with dehumanization, not seeing the face of the other, not seeing the whole humanity of the other. A cultural regime of dehumanization has been constructed in many police departments. In that fertile ground, racial bias can spread and become entrenched. The Atlantic, June 16th, 2020. The culture of policing is broken. Nah, it ain't. The culture of policing ain't broken. The culture of policing is exactly how it's been since the slave patrols. It's to keep blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, to keep the slaves in check. This is what policing is about. This is why, like, and let me give a shout out to one of my sisters that called me today. She called me earlier this morning, right? And she was like, hey, bro, like, did y'all do a class on police brutality or the police? I'm like, of course we've been done like hundreds of classes. I'm sure y'all could probably find one, but I haven't taught. I don't think I have taught one on police brutality. But she was asking me well, how are we supposed to deal with police? Like y'all got a class on that? And I'm like, shit, I can tell you, Salaki. I'm like, I can tell you how to deal with the police. Comply with everything they say, and you know what I'm saying, humble yourself, because whatever these white people got going on, and whatever they do as far as them challenging the police and them being the authority of the law, that stuff is not going to work for blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. If man, look, if you're a black, Latino, and Native American, man, woman, or child, if you get pulled over by the police, stopped by the police, harassed by the police, do not sit up there and act like some smart Negro who knows they lost. Them so-called Moorish niggas, them niggas are crazy. Don't listen to them. You understand? Police pull you over, ask you for your license, registration, and insurance. You say, here you go, sir. Man, look, if I was you, I would try to spark up a friendly conversation with them. You understand? And I'm gonna show you in the scriptures why. Because these damn devils, they want to kill you. The police not pulling you over because you got a busted tail light or your tags ain't up to date. The police are pulling you over because they really want to harm you. But since you do have a busted tail light and your tags ain't up to date, that's action at them harassing you. That's when they say probable cause. Probable cause mean I got a reason to knock you upside your head. I got a reason to stop you whenever the hell I want to because you did something that's probably an infraction, not even a misdemeanor, and I got action at coming into contact with you, and I dare you to get disrespectful and act like that you know more than me about this law. That's what probable cause mean. Probable cause has got a lot of men, women, and children that's Black, Latinos, and Native Americans murdered. You understand? Salakia. So once again, if you get stopped by a police officer for any reason, Israel, you want to be as calm as possible. You want to comply with everything they ask you. You understand? And you want to make it home to your children. You want to make it home to your family. You don't want to sit up there and act like you're just the smartest Negro on planet Earth. Because slave patrollers, your slave master, and anybody who wants to continue to be a slave, want you to continue to be a slave, they do not like smart niggas. I'm trying to tell you from experience, they do not like smart niggas. You understand? Me being in the world, man, Barakatah Yahweh Yahweh Shah for the mercy that the Lord had on me in the world. Because when I first started learning about the ISUPK and the truth before I came to school, I was a dumb nigga when it came to police. I thought I knew everything. I thought the police can't touch me. I got rights. No, that's BS. Niggas ain't got no rights in this country. You got a right to pull your goddamn ID out and show them whatever the hell they need to be shown so you can get on your way to go home. You understand? So you don't get killed. You got a right to make this police officer feel like man, look, I come in contact with the police. I'm gonna make that devil feel like he is the greatest man in the world. You understand? I'm gonna make him feel like he's super smart. You understand? He like I'm gonna get you some scriptures to show you how to deal with these damn police. Salakia. But let's get some more. It says, did you know holding police officers accountable is difficult? Man, look, you can't make this up. You cannot make this. I wasn't even look. Now that I'm in the ISUPK up under Commander General Yohana, of course, I got a whole army and a team with me that will help me beat these police in court now. You understand? If need be. You understand? But other than that, I'm not even trying to take it that far. I'm trying to keep teaching these classes, you understand? Keep going to camp, you understand? Keep pushing this truth out to wake Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans up so we can go ahead and get up out of hell. I ain't got no time to be sitting up there going back and forth with no police officer about a law that I know he's here to enforce. You understand? Like when man, look, you go to court, they're not going to believe you. The police officer is going to come to court and he's going to lie on you. I'm speaking from experience. They gonna come in court and act like the most upstanding officer when that police officer just harassed you, called you all type of niggas, probably used blunt force. You understand to even get you in the damn police car, and they didn't put their knee on your back a little bit. They didn't elbowed you a couple times. You might even got punched. They still gonna come in that courtroom and act like you're a goddamn criminal, and they correct. You understand? Don't be no he-man when it comes to these damn police, because they will kill you. Right? Did you know holding police officers accountable is difficult? In 2020, there were 1,021 fatal police shootings. Man, would you believe that? And in 2019, there were 999 fatal police shootings. Man, the police, they killing niggas to the tune of 1,000 people every year. Ooh, y'all better chill. I don't want to be one of them. Additionally, the rate of fatal police shootings among Blacks Americans was much higher than that for any other ethnicity. Come on, man. I told y'all, do not try to hold these police officers accountable for a goddamn thing when they stop you on the streets. That is retarded. They killing people from the tune to the tune of 1,000 people every year. And let me read that again. It says, additionally, the rate of fatal shootings among Black Americans was much higher than that of any other ethnicity, standing at 35 fatal shootings per million of the population as of March 2021. That's only 35 Black men. What about Latinos and Native Americans? They ain't. We got y'all got to group that number together so you can understand how much they killing the children of Israel. Don't do it. I'm trying to tell you, don't sit up there and act like you know the law or I'm sovereign and I got the right to ride around the country with no license and let me get your supervisor. Don't do that, Israel. I'm trying to tell you that is not wise. Since 2005 through June 24th, 2019, 104 non-federal law enforcement officers have been arrested in connection with fatal on-duty shootings. Come on, man. From 2005 to 2019, and they killing about 1,000 people every year. Only 104 of them been arrested in what's that? That's almost 15 years. Only 104. Listen to this. Let's just say that according to this, the average people that get killed by police officers a year is 1,000 people, right? So what's 1,000 times 15? Is that 15 years? That's 14 years. What's 1,000 times 14? That's 14,000 people, right? So out of 14,000 shooting incidents, right? Only 14,000 shooting incidents from police officers from 2005 all the way to 2019. Only 104 of them have been arrested. Come on, man. Come on, man. The police smoke you. He he's going on paid leave. He's going on paid leave. And if they do firing, they gonna hire this damn devil in another damn state, 3 states over, where don't nobody know him at, and he gonna be the police over there again. Come on, man. Wake up, Israel. To date, only 35 of these officers have been convicted of a crime, often a lesser offense, such as manslaughter or negligent homicide rather than murder. So hold on. Only 104 of these bastards got arrested, and only 35 of them got convicted of a crime, and often the crime was less than murder, uh, uh, either manslaughter or negligent homicide. Come on, man. This crazy. This is crazy. You understand? Don't once again, Israel. I beg you, don't do it. Don't sit up there and try to uh challenge no damn police officer. First of all, the oppressor, the so-called Caucasian man, woman, and child, they are the devil that the Bible speaks of. You understand? The devil wants to murder you. That's just it is what it is. Matter of fact, big shout out to Officer of 5,000 Hazahab Bunyan and Tribe of Benjamin and headquarters. Y'all go check out his story on Facebook. He just showed you on. I'm gonna give you a brief a description of the story that he put on Facebook. The story that he put on Facebook, it's a little white boy being interviewed in front of a school. I don't know who he's being interviewed by, but it seemed like it's his mom or one of his family members. She asked him what he wanted to be when he grew up. He said he wanted to be a murderer. I'm not making this up. He said he wanted to be a murderer. He said he loved killing. Like he was watching a show about killing with I think he said with his grandpa, and he said it intrigued him so much that that's what he want to be when he grow up. Man, this damn that same devil. If he don't shoot up a school, he's going to be a police officer when he get older. I guarantee it. You understand? Come on, man. That's what they do. Only 4 officers have been convicted of murder during this period and seen their conviction stand. So out of 35 officers, only 4 of them been convicted of murder. Let's run these numbers down. From 2005 to 2019, over 14,000 people have been killed by police officers. In these 14 years, only 104 of them officers have been arrested. Out of these 104 officers, only 35 of them have been convicted. And out of these 35 officers, only 4 of them have been convicted of murder. Come on, man. Police gonna smoke you, bro, and go somewhere else to live and go on paid leave and be on vacation in the Bahamas while your mama crying over your casket and Black, Latino, and Native American families trying to put together money to bury their child. This is crazy, man. It's a lot. And to tell y'all the truth, I didn't even know this article had all of this in here. I didn't know this article had all of this in here. This is crazy. It's a lot. Another 23 officers were acquitted in jury trial, and 9 were acquitted during a bench trial decided by a judge. Come on, man. The judge gonna be like, yeah, what they call that? Justified homicide. We 11 other cases were dismissed by a judge or prosecutor, all in one instance. No true bill was returned from a grand jury. Currently, there are 24 non-federal law enforcement officers with pending criminal cases for fatal shootings. Ooh-wee. And I believe this article is from 2020. It's a couple years old, so you know what I'm saying? There's more people getting murdered by police. The cost of police brutality is high. While many police brutality and fatal police shootings are not prosecuted in criminal court, victims and the families of victims have been able to pursue civil judgments which cost millions of taxpayers' dollars each year. Come on, man. Come on, man. A lot of these brothers and sisters that get murdered by the police officers not found guilty, but the courts know they guilty. So they still pay these people families. You understand? Like it's ridiculous. 175.9 million in civil judgments and claims for police-related lawsuits was paid by New York City during the 2019 fiscal year. New York City has the largest police force with 36,000 members, serving 8.3 million people. Man, just New York City alone in 2019 paid 175.9. They paid 176 million out for police brutality cases. That's just New York City alone. And they said this is taxpayers' dollars. You're paying, like, they are allowing the public to pay for police to murder Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans. Come on, man. This is ridiculous. 500 million was paid out by the city of Chicago between 2004 and 2014 for police misconduct related lawsuits. The Chicago Police Department has 12,000 officers serving 2.7 million people. Come on, man. Now, let's go to the scriptures. Let's go to Exodus chapter 1. I'm gonna show you that police brutality all in these scriptures. Remember, policing, modern day policing, Salakia. Modern day policing comes from slave patrols. Now watch this. Watch this. Let's go before I go to Exodus, let's go to Revelations, chapter 11 and verse 8. And their dead bodies shall lie in the street of the great city. Ooh-wee. Man, look. This is the word of God right here. You understand? It's saying our dead bodies shall lie in a great city. You understand? Like we literally get murdered in these streets, and our dead bodies are literally laying in the streets of this great city, physically laying on the ground dead, and spiritually we dead as a whole because blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, they don't know who they are as a people. You understand? Reading on, which spiritually is called Sodom and Egypt. Man, this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. You understand? Sodom is a so-called pride month. They didn't gave these homosexuals, Salakia, the LGBTQ community a whole month. We ain't even finna get into that because this class ain't about that. But it's spiritually called Sodom because a whole lot of homosexuality is going on here. And Egypt. You understand? And the reason why it's called Egypt because the slavery that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans served. You understand? We built up these treasure cities. We finna get into that in a hot second, right? Where also our Lord was crucified. Right here, they kill Christ every day. We got pictures of white Jesus. Like we go to camp with the picture of white Jesus on the ground and nobody steps on it. People are scared to walk on that picture like it's really God. Like we really be having people come up to the camp and pick the poster off the ground and try to lean it up. You understand? So nobody walk on it. Come on, man, it's crazy. They be so shocked, and it's amazing to me too, because they still be so shocked when we throw that painting down or that picture down every time uh, uh we bring out scriptures about Christ and how he don't look like that. Man, we've been throwing that picture down since 1969. Y'all still shocked? It's crazy. The Lord said this place is spiritually called Sodom and Egypt. I'm going to give you the Egypt sign right now. This is the book of Exodus, chapter 1 and verse 10. Come on, let us deal wisely with them, lest they multiply and it come to pass that when there falleth out any war, they join also unto our enemies and fight against us, and so get them out of the land. These Egyptians, when we was in servitude to these damn stinking Africans in Egypt, they said, man, look, we gotta deal wisely with these niggas. You understand? Or they gonna overthrow us, basically. You understand? Verse 11. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. Taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. This is the slave patrol. To afflict you with your burdens, meaning they gonna beat the hell out of you to make you work for them. That's slavery in America. That's literally what happened in America, and America got that same system from Egypt. And where does policing comes from? Slavery. I'm gonna read that one more time. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them with their burdens. Man, let me get this article again at the top one more time. Tough on crime laws have been an unprecedented number of have put an unprecedented number of nonviolent offenders behind bars, and our neighborhoods feel no more secure. This system has deep roots in slavery. Slave patrols. The origins of modern day policing can be traced back to the slave patrols. The earliest formal slave patrol was created in the Carolinas in the early 1700s with one mission to establish a system of terror and squash slave uprisings with the capacity to pursue, apprehend, and return runaways to their owners. Tactics included the use of excessive force to control and produce desired slave behavior. That's what jail and prison is. That's what the police coming to your neighborhoods, coming to get you, you understand, to basically put you in check and put you in line and make you act like a good boy. Where they get, hold on, I, patroller's name, do swear that I will do swear that I will, as a searcher for guns, swords, and other weapons among the slaves in my district, faithfully and as privately as I can, discharge the trust reposed discharge the trust reposed in me as the law directs to the best of my power. So help me God. Look, that nigga just said we're gonna take crafty counsel on these niggas, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to make these niggas act right. Let's read it one more time in the scriptures. Therefore, they did set over them taskmasters to afflict them, slave patrols, the sheriff, the police. These are the taskmasters right here in the scriptures that I'm reading about in the Bible. Same exact thing. What did this slave patroller do? He made sure we didn't have no guns, no knives. You understand? And he made sure we did exactly what the hell we were supposed to do. What they used to do in slavery, they used to ride in the fields on horses to make sure you was doing exactly what the hell you're supposed to do. Now, when they ride through the field is your neighborhood. They horse is that patrol car now. You understand? It's the same thing. And they built for Pharaoh treasure cities, Pithom and Rameses. Now, treasure cities is Oakland, San Francisco, Philadelphia, Chicago. We built up these damn cities, Washington, D.C. You understand? Treasure cities where this slave master can make a whole lot of money out of these damn cities. And who built it up for these so-called devils today? Blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans, these slaves, all while being patrolled, all while being patrolled by these slave patrols or taskmasters that you can find in the book of Exodus in the first chapter in the 10th and 11th verse. And so I'm gonna drop down. Let me get Exodus 2 and 10. And the child grew. Salaki. Wow. And the child grew, and she brought him unto Pharaoh's daughter, and he became her son, and she called his name Moses. And she said, because I drew him out of water. Now watch. Moses grows up in Pharaoh's house. He grows up around the time that blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans back them in ancient times of Egypt, we are being we in slavery. You understand? You got slave patrols. You understand? But Moses, he grew up in Pharaoh's house. He grew up in the king, like that's just like that's just like a black man today getting adopted by a president. You understand? Or that's like a this like a black man getting adopted by George Washington or somebody. You understand? Somebody that runs this nation. You understand? He lives in a house with Pharaoh. You understand? He lives in a house with the king or the president, whatever the hell you want to call him, but he's the Pharaoh. He runs. You understand? He lives in a house with him, but he the same nationality. He the same race of these same people that he got in slavery. So watch what he do, right? Because Moses understood who he was. Moses understood that he was an Israelite. You understand? From the tribe of Levi because he was raised by his mother. But he grew up in Pharaoh's house because when he became of a certain age, he went to go live with Pharaoh's daughter because Pharaoh's daughter paid his mama to raise him because they had a decree going on in Egypt at that time. So, Salakia, let me get that. Mm, let's go back. Exodus chapter 1 and verse 16. And when he said, when you do the office of, and he said, when you do the office of a midwife to the Hebrew women and see them upon the stools, if it be a son, then ye shall kill him. But if it be a daughter, then she shall live. You understand? And that's what's going on today in America and across the world where blacks, Latinos, and Native Americans live. The men are being murdered more than the women. You understand? Because they taking this same counsel that Pharaoh said. Kill the niggas, kill the men. You understand? If it's a daughter, go ahead and let her go about her way. You understand? most times. Don't get me wrong. A lot of our sisters get killed too in this empire, but not to the tune of the men in this empire. You understand? And it's the same spirit of police brutality that you got here in America today. Same spirit. You understand? Let the female go on and be on her way. You understand? Because why? The female is gonna help build up this economy. You understand? Uh, uh, the general just bought out not too long ago. Um, they said that basically if more women are aborting their children, like if they, oh no, that's what it was. It was if they outlaw abortion in this economy, then the economy is going to crumble. Meaning what? We gotta have these black, Latino, Native American women not at home raising babies. We gotta have them out here working for us just to keep our economy going. And that's exactly what Pharaoh understood back then. He understood, look, we can like let they women live. They gonna be an asset for us. We can mess around and just knock off the men of their nation and we impregnate that woman and that's the end of their damn nation. You understand? And that's what's going on here in America. You understand? But Salakia, let me go back to Exodus chapter 2 and verse 11. Verse 11. And it came to pass in those days when Moses was grown that he went out unto his brethren and looked on their burdens. And he spied an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew, one of his brethren. So when Moses got older, he went to go see what was up with his people. You understand? He went to go see what was going on with the children of Israel, right? He went to go look at what's actually really going on with them serving slavery. And when he went to the land of Goshen where we was all at, he seen an Egyptian smiting a Hebrew. He seen an Egyptian beating up a Hebrew. Moses witnessed police brutality. Like you got to understand. Like I just explained to y'all that these slave patrols come from people. The police come from slave patrols. Now the children of Israel are in slavery in Egypt in this chapter in Exodus. Now, when Moses comes see this Egyptian smiting the Hebrew, when it say smiting him, he beating on him. This is exactly what's happening in America. You understand? Moses seen an Egyptian, which was most likely a taskmaster, a police officer. You understand? Beating on one of his brethren, right? Verse 12. And he looked this way and that way, and when he saw that there was no man, he slew the Egyptian and hid him in the sand. You understand? Moses was against police brutality on his people. Moses was a bad dude. He was like, man, ain't nobody, ain't nobody see me. I'm finna kill this damn. I'm finna kill this oppressor right here. I'm finna kill this Egyptian, and he murdered him. You understand? Moses actually cared about his people. Now we're not advocating. Don't be simple, Israel. We're not advocating that niggas stand up for their people by going to go kill police. That is not what we advocate in the ISBK up under Commander General Yohana. That would be a dumb idea for a nigga to think that he can beat the police officers. You understand? For a nigga that think that he can uprise against the police officer. Look, I just told you, don't even act like a smartass with these police, Sloppy. Don't even act like you know the law. Do not try to challenge them. Comply with it, man, and keep going. But Moses seen police in his day. You understand? Moses seen police brutality in his time. You understand? And when he witnessed that police brutality, he went off. You understand? Salakia. Me drop that. Um, let's drop that. What we going to next? Let's go to First Samuel, chapter 13 and verse 19. Let's get some more police in these scriptures. First Samuel chapter 13 and verse 19. First Samuel chapter 13 and verse 19. Now and let me give you a quick backstory on what's going on. In the book of First Samuel, right? We are in, because of us going against the laws in those times, we basically in servitude to the Philistines, another African nation. You understand? The Philistines is a Canaanite nation, right? These is Africans, right? And they basically had us in servitude for a hot second for a certain amount of time, right? And this was one of their decrees right here, right? First Samuel chapter 13 and verse 19. Now there was no smith found throughout all the land of Israel, for the Philistines said, lest the Hebrews make them swords or spears. Now, this is policing of the children of Israel in these times. A smith is somebody that makes weapons, somebody that works with metal to make weapons. You understand? You ever heard of a gunsmith or the company Smith and Wesson Guns? They didn't allow for the children of Israel to have smiths in they in our living quarters and in the land where we occupy, because they didn't want us to be able to make guns to be able to protect ourselves. This is gun control right here in the Bible. This is a gun law right here in the Bible. If you don't know, Americans have the right to bear arms, right? Before the Black Panthers in the 1960s, you didn't need you didn't need a license to go get a firearm, right? And in California, I'm speaking, you didn't need a license to go get a firearm. You just had to have the money and go pay for the firearm. But when the American government understood that black people started reading these damn law books, and Huey P. Newton was showing niggas like, nah, bro, y'all can have guns. You feel me? Yeah. And Huey P. Newton was showing black people in Oakland like, man, look, y'all, look, we got the right to have guns. There's certain protocol on how we have to how we have to have these guns, as far as like the ammunition and where it's supposed to be at and all that type of stuff. But we got the right to bear these arms. So niggas start getting guns. Then when the American government seen that, they started switching up and changing these gun laws to make it harder for black people to qualify to get these damn guns. Well, this was going on in First Samuel, the 13th chapter, gun control. You understand? Because the people that oppress the children of Israel, they understand that, okay, this really a mighty people. Like these niggas go crazy. You understand? And if given the right tools and the right understanding and knowledge about themselves, they will protect themselves, and we won't be able to rule over them no more. You understand? These Africans understood that. Just like the Egyptians understood it. And just like your so-called oppressor, the Caucasian, who is the devil that the Bible speaks of today, he understands this. He understands, look, we gotta keep these niggas in control. And one of they crafty counsels, and one of the way they deal wisely with us is with these police and these slave patrols. You understand? I'm gonna drop that. We get go to the Apocrypha. I had a lot of stories, but I might have to do a part two of this next week. If I don't get into this evil sodomite culture, you understand, that America is trying to push on our damn children. Salakia. Um, we go to First Maccabees, chapter 1. First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 41. It's the book of First Maccabees, chapter 1, and verse 41. Moreover, King Antiochus wrote to his whole kingdom that all should be one people, and everyone should leave his laws. So all the heathen agreed according to the commandment of the king. King Antiochus, or Antiochus, however you want to pronounce it, he made a law that that all nations have to come together and be one people. You understand? He made it a law like, look, Whatever the hell y'all got going on with your own nation, you have to come do what I want you to do. You understand? And by this being a law, it's illegal for you to live any other way. You understand? Let's go to Maccabees, Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Look it up. Yeah, Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and 6. The book of Second Maccabees, chapter 6 and verse 6. Neither was it lawful, neither was it lawful for a man to keep Sabbath days or ancient feasts or to profess himself to be a Jew. Salakia. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna take a quick break, real quick, y'all. I'm gonna come right back on this topic.